Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk through all of the changes and things that I noticed throughout my sugar diet experiment or sugar diet adjacent experiment. We could just call it intermittent fruit fasting. I tried to call it intermittent fruitarian, but some people had problems with that. And so I think we could call it intermittent fruit fasting, although I did include things like honey. I said I was going to use a maple syrup, but I didn't ever end up using it. Honey always just seemed like the right choice whenever I needed something like that. And so intermittent fruit and honey fasting. I did a whole video at the beginning talking about exactly what I was going to do. I based what I was doing on what I heard Mark Bell talking about at the very beginning when he first started playing with this. And since that time, things have really changed in the sugar fasting community. It's now called sugar fasting, not the sugar diet. But I based what I was doing on what he talked about originally, which was basically fruit and sugar fasting the first part of the day up until the afternoon, and then having a meal of protein and some starch and veggies, things like that. So it's kind of a one meal a day type thing, but with fruit rather than not eating anything in the fasting period. So the results that I am going to be talking about today are from that type of a diet. I have not done any entire 24 hours of sugar fasting. That's not something I'm ready to jump into at this point. And I really wanted to experiment with this one meal a day type approach. And so that's what I'm going to be sharing in this video. Before we get started, I want to say thank you to Element, who is the sponsor of the video today. And Element was very key in this experiment for me. I was wondering if maybe I would need less electrolytes because I was eating more carbohydrates, but I found that I definitely needed to continue with my electrolytes. I was having about 2 sticks per day through this whole thing. And it does make sense because I increased my fruit consumption and there's not a ton of sodium in fruit. And so it really was helpful to have the electrolytes, especially throughout that morning time. And this is a brand new flavor from Element. It is the lemonade salt. It is here for the summer and it is very, very delicious, very much like lemonade. Like it's gonna take you back to lemonade stands as a kid. It definitely has that sour lemon punch. I love how Element gets that like sour punch just right with their electrolytes. It is definitely delicious and super refreshing for the summer. If you want to get a free sample pack of 8 of their regular flavors, all you have to do is use my link and then place an order on their website for anything, maybe the lemonade salt if you want to try it out. But if you use my link, drinkelement.com/indigo, drinklmnt.com/indigo, and go to their website, place an order for anything, you will automatically get that 8-stick sample pack added to your order at no charge. Thanks again to Element for sponsoring today, and now we're going to get into the chat. So because context is important, I want to just put out here a couple of things that I'm keeping in mind and that I hope you would keep in mind as well as I talk through the benefits and the negatives that I have experienced over the past couple of weeks of experimenting with this intermittent fruit fasting. First off, I have not been on it for very long. This is very short-term data. Pretty much any diet out there you can get short-term benefits from, but that isn't the entire story oftentimes. We have to look at long-term, and obviously I don't have that data for you at this point, but I just want everyone to keep that in mind, and I am keeping that in mind as well. Also keep in mind that going into this, I had already been eating around 200 grams of carbs per day, so I know a lot of people think of me as a keto or carnivore influencer because I did that for a long time, but the reality is I have not been on a keto diet for over 1.5 years now, and I have slowly been increasing the carbs in my diet. So I did not start this fresh out of keto. I basically went from eating around 200 grams of carbs per day to eating 300 to 400, sometimes even as high as 500 grams of carbs per day during this experiment. I also started out this experiment with fairly good blood sugar control. I am not pre-diabetic or diabetic or anything like that. And of course, me sharing these results is in no way me trying to say that anyone else will get the same results if they do the same thing I did. This is purely me sharing my experience and just information for you. I am not recommending this. I just wanted to experiment, and I know a lot of you are interested in that, and so I am sharing my experience. My experiment lasted 12 days, and in those 12 days, I ate an average of 2,126 calories per day. I did stop counting towards the end, so I don't have the entire 12 days worth of calories, but for the days that I did count, I was over 2,000 calories on average. And I know the videos that I posted where I shared my calories were lower, and I talked in those videos about how frustrating it was that I struggled to get in calories on the days where I was filming, and I wanted to see very clear blood sugar reactions from each meal. And so I was waiting between meals, and it's hard to eat a lot in one sitting. And so there was too many variables there, but overall I ate over 2,000 calories per day. So now let's go ahead and get into the things that I noticed during this experiment, things that changed in my body. And a lot of them were shocking to me. I really did not expect a lot of what I saw. So the first thing that I noticed is better skin. Within a week, I noticed that my skin was softer and just smoother, and my skin was not terrible to begin with. It improved a lot after I dealt with my gut health issues, and so it wasn't terribly bad, but I definitely noticed an improvement in my skin. Next thing that really, really shocked me was sleep. My sleep improved pretty dramatically. And again, my sleep was not bad before this. It was pretty good, but sometimes you don't really realize how much room you have to improve until you see that improvement. So just to give you an idea, on my Ultrahuman ring, I get sleep scores, and they were averaging in the mid 80s to early 90s usually before this. And that's not bad. Like, that is totally acceptable. It was actually pretty good sleep. Since I started doing this intermittent fruit fasting, I have seen my averages go to the mid 90s. And actually in the last couple of weeks, I've gotten 2 perfect 100 scores on my sleep, which is pretty wild. And beyond just the data on my ring, I have felt more rested, and I have been having a lot more vivid dreams. It just feels like my sleep is deeper, so it's aligning with the scores that I'm getting. Next thing I noticed, and this was another thing that I noticed on my Ultrahuman ring data, is that my HRV increased. HRV is heart rate variability, and the higher the number, they say, the more adaptable to stress you are. And I've had HRV very, very low before when I was dealing with thyroid issues, and I consistently have seen less health when my numbers are lower and more health when my numbers are higher. I was able to increase my HRV by getting my thyroid issues under control and by adding red light therapy. That was a huge thing that basically doubled my HRV. But then jumping into this intermittent fruit fasting, I saw my HRV increase even more. Not a huge amount, but definitely noticeable. But the interesting thing is I have also seen an increase in my nighttime HRV, which I hadn't seen as much with the red light therapy. The red light therapy, I have seen an increase during the day and in my average overall, but my nighttime HRV didn't increase very much. With this intermittent fruit fasting, my nighttime HRV has jumped up quite considerably. So the jump in my HRV has seemed to have come from nighttime, which is really fascinating and maybe correlates with the better sleep. I also saw a little bit of a decline in my resting heart rate, which I think is probably good because my resting heart rate was kind of in the mid to high 70s for a little while there. And I have seen it drop down into 70 and even down into the high 60s. And I think for me, that's a pretty good range. I know there's a lot of different opinions about heart rate and wanting it high or wanting it low, but along with the increased HRV, I think the little bit of a decrease in my resting heart rate was a positive thing. When I was dealing with my thyroid issues, I saw a really big increase in my heart rate and also a decrease in my HRV. So seeing that reversed with this, it seems like a positive thing for me. Next thing I noticed, which is not very surprising, is more energy. I definitely felt it all throughout the morning when I was just doing my fruit fast. After I would have my protein and starch meal in the afternoon or evening, I would start to get tired, but not like dramatically so. It's not like I had to go take a nap or anything. I definitely felt a lot of motivation to keep moving during the morning. When you have that fuel coming in like that, your body wants to use it. So it was hard to just stay sitting down. I didn't find myself sitting and scrolling aimlessly. I was always like, jumping on my rebounder or going out doing things active. I felt like my body had energy and it just wanted to move. Next thing I noticed, which was kind of surprising and not something I was looking for at all, but that was, I noticed that my fingernail beds started getting a little pinker, and then under my eyelids started getting a little more pink. And if you guys have been with me for a while, you know that I have dealt with chronic iron issues, trying to keep my iron up. And even though I've made some great strides there, I still have a ways to go. And so I don't know what this is going to mean. It's just something that I noticed. But the pinker fingernails and the pinker underneath the eyes, like under the eyelids, is a sign of better iron status. So it'll be interesting when I go in to get blood work to see if anything has changed there. Another thing that I'll throw in here, but again, it's one of those little bit too early to tell, but still something interesting, is I've had one cycle on this sugar fasting, intermittent fruit fasting, 2 weeks, and it was noticeably lighter than it had been. And I have talked before about trying to find a way to lighten up my cycle. And again, because I've struggled with iron issues, it's just like, if we could try to lose a little bit less blood every month, that would be ideal. And so I've tried all kinds of things, including different female organ blends and stuff like that. And none of that seemed to make any difference at all. But the one cycle that I had while doing this intermittent fruit fasting was significantly lighter. So again, time will tell. We will see if that trend continues, but that was interesting. As you guys know, I had a glucose biosensor on, or CGM, throughout this experiment, and that was something that I was really curious about. I was like, is my blood sugar going to be spiking through the roof all throughout the day? Also, I was really curious about my glucose variability. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. And so if you want to see like what my blood sugar did in response to, purely fruit meals, you can see the videos that I did on that. I was very happy with how my blood sugar responded. You can't expect a flatline blood sugar when you're eating lots and lots of fruit. So obviously I did not expect that, but my blood sugar handled the amount of fruit and sugar beautifully, and it would go up when I ate like it's supposed to, and then it would come down, and usually it was down back to baseline within the 2 hours, which is what you want. My scores on my days from NutriSense were all very good. In the good range. And so that was reassuring to me that my blood sugar really is not an issue. The glucose variability is important to look at. And so I went ahead and found my average for the days that I had the glucose biosensor on. And I got an average of 12.8 for a glucose variability. And anything 14 or below is considered good. And then 15 to 20 is okay. And then 21 and above needs improvement. So I was well into the good range on average for the entire time I did this, eating 300 to 500 carbs per day. Now onto my weight. For the 12 days that I did this intermittent fruit fasting, and I did have a few meals, I think maybe 3 meals in there where they weren't in alignment with what I was doing, just because they were like family meals or celebration meals. And so I wasn't 100% perfect this whole time. But in the 12 days that I did this experiment, I lost 6.2 pounds. And so that averages out to a little over half a pound a day. So I was very happy with that. I wouldn't want to lose weight much faster than that at all. So very thrilled with the amount of weight lost. I don't know that if I just continued with this, if I would lose weight at the same rate. I kind of doubt it. I think things will definitely slow down from here, but it was very effective to drop some pounds off very quickly. And one nice thing about it compared to losing weight on a low carb diet is that there's not that huge fluid change. I was eating lots and lots of carbs, so it wasn't like I was just losing water weight. And I found that when I had regular meals, celebration meals in there, I didn't have like 3 to 5 pound gain on the scale the next day. It was very reasonable. So now I will touch on the negatives that I noticed from doing this. And honestly, there's not a lot. I was like racking my brain trying to like balance this out with positives and negatives that I've noticed. But there just weren't as many negatives as positives. So here we go. I mentioned this in my first video of like what I eat in a day. I did have some headaches at the beginning, and that just lasted the first few days, and then they resolved, and I haven't had that for quite a while. So I think that was probably just my electrolytes rebalancing. Maybe I wasn't eating enough at the beginning. It is hard to eat a huge pile of fruit at the beginning, so I was eating smaller meals at that point. And I probably just wasn't eating enough. Whatever the case, those have resolved at this point. The next annoying thing, which also is kind of resolving at this point, is eating often. In the morning time doing the fruit fasting, I was finding myself needing to eat at least every 2 hours. And again, I think it's because it was hard for me, especially at the beginning, to eat a large amount. And of course, when you only eat like, 2 pieces of fruit, that's a couple hundred calories. You're going to be hungry a couple hours later. And so I was having to eat very often, but that seems to be resolving. My tolerance, my digestion, all of that is ramping up somehow. I've been able to eat more in a sitting recently, and so I'm able to push it a little longer between meals, but still it's kind of annoying. I would prefer to eat one giant meal and then not be hungry for 4 hours, but constantly having to have food available is just an inconvenience. I also got several questions about digestion on this, and like I've already touched on, eating large amounts of fruit at the beginning can be difficult, and I definitely noticed some issues, especially when I ate too much watermelon. That was something I was like, I need to be careful about the watermelon. But like I said, things have gotten better over the 2 weeks. The other thing on the digestion front that I will mention is that the times where I went back to eating more of a regular meal that had higher fat, I think that was the main thing, that had higher fat, I did notice a little bit of digestive discomfort after that. So that's a little bit concerning to me. Mike Fave did a really great video talking about his concerns with the sugar diet, and I definitely think that those are very legitimate concerns. And one of the ones that he mentioned was not enough fat with meals to aid with digestion and nutrient absorption and things like that, which I totally agree with. And I think that's definitely a concern. And so that is something that, I'm kind of thinking about like how to mitigate, because I don't want my body to forget how to handle fat and to have digestive issues anytime I have some kind of a celebration meal. So that is definitely something I'm keeping an eye on. So that is my experience with a 12-day intermittent fruit fast. I tried really hard to go into it with an open mind and just experience it for what it was. And I definitely was shocked by a lot of the ways my body responded, to the point where I feel like I need to know more. And so I am listening to lots of different people talking about this type of eating and the benefits and the drawbacks. And I'm going to be making some tweaks and changes and continue to learn and try to retain any of the benefits that I've seen eating this way while also mitigating the negatives. And so that will be a work in progress. At this point, I don't have any exact solid plans. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and leave this video here. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I will see you again in the next one.